10 Eastern philosophies for the elderly. When we have walked through most of life's journey, we finally understand that some things, though seemingly small, actually define the meaning of being human. Time, words, opportunities, health, and inner peace. All of them come and go as gently as the wind, yet they weigh as deeply as the reflections of those who have lived long enough to feel their value. At this age, we no longer seek wealth or fame. What we truly desire is a quiet morning, a cup of hot tea, a kind conversation, and a heart free from burdens. But to attain that serenity, sometimes it takes half a lifetime just to learn how to let go. Confucius once said, "Those who know their shortcomings will keep learning. Those who recognize their mistakes will keep improving." Lao Tzu taught, knowing contentment is true wealth, and knowing when to stop brings peace. Though they lived centuries apart, both pointed toward the same path, the path back to oneself. So today, I want to walk with you through 10 Eastern philosophies, lessons refined over thousands of years, so that we may understand more deeply, live more lightly, and smile more peacefully as we look back on the road we have traveled. Because old age is not the end of life. It is the reward for those who have truly lived every moment. The first philosophy is about time, words, and opportunity. 3 simple things that quietly determine the happiness of one's entire life. Philosophy 1. Time, words, and opportunity. Know when to stop. Confucius said, "The wise know when to speak and when to remain silent, when to move forward and when to step back." Lao Tzu taught, "Contentment brings happiness, and knowing when to stop brings peace." Both reminded us of one truth. In life, there are boundaries that only become clear once we have walked halfway through it. When we are young, we believe time is endless. We waste our days as if they will come back. We postpone what truly matters, thinking there will always be another chance, another perfect moment. But when our hair turns gray, we finally realize time owes nothing to anyone, and opportunity only visits those who value it. Every moment we are alive, every breath we take, is the greatest gift life can offer. There are 3 things that never return: time, words, and opportunity. Lose any of them, and no remedy can mend what was lost. Time passes quietly and waits for no one. We cannot bring back yesterday, but we can live fully today. Think back over the years. How many times have we wished we had spent a little more time with loved ones, or cared more for ourselves, or focused on what truly mattered? How many times have we spoken words that hurt someone, only to carry the regret for the rest of our lives? And how many times have we let precious chances slip away because we were afraid, or because we thought there was still plenty of time? Confucius said, "Words are like the wind, and the wind can fell an entire forest." A careless word can destroy a relationship. A kind word can heal a wounded soul. As we grow older, we realize that the most valuable words are not the loud ones, but the ones that bring peace. Speak when it matters. Stay silent when your heart is in turmoil. Some things, the more we speak of them, the more we lose our inner calm. Lao Tzu taught, "Water is the softest thing, yet it can wear away the hardest stone." In the same way, those who know how to pause, to listen, and to keep their hearts still, they are the truly strong ones. Time does not favor the hurried, it rewards those who know how to slow down. When we stop to truly feel life, we begin to see beauty in the simplest things. A quiet dawn, the chirping of birds outside the window, or simply the warmth of a hand still holding ours. Opportunities in life are like the sun. Hesitate too long and they will set. But if we live fully in every moment, opportunities will emerge from even the simplest things. It might be a meeting, an invitation, or just a fleeting instant that makes our heart feel alive again. Do not fear starting over. Do not think you are too old. Because, as Lao Tzu said, every new beginning is merely a continuation of the flow. When we move with that flow, life naturally becomes lighter. Time teaches us maturity, words teach us humility, and opportunities teach us courage. These three may seem separate, yet they are deeply connected. If we use our time to speak kindly and use our words to create good opportunities, then no matter how much time passes, our lives will remain meaningful. The first lesson of the East does not teach us to hold on to everything. It teaches us to stop at the right moment, to stop and listen, to pause and reflect, to understand that sometimes not moving forward is itself a step ahead. And once we grasp that truth, we realize life, though short, is already complete. Philosophies 2. A peaceful mind brings a peaceful life. Confucius once said, "Those who live in harmony with life will find peace in their hearts. Those who go against nature will live in suffering." Lao Tzu taught, "If the mind is not disturbed, no external force can shake it." Two great sages, two different ways of saying the same truth. Peace does not come from the outside world, but from within each person. At this age, we have lived through enough changes, the gains and losses, the joys and sorrows of life. Perhaps now is the time to stop competing with the world, to stop blaming others, and to stop trying to prove ourselves. The more we chase, the more exhausted we become. The more we cling, the heavier our hearts grow. When we pause and look deeply within, we realize that life has never stopped being beautiful. We were just too busy to see it. The ancients said, "Stillness is the root of movement, and peace is the root of prosperity." Only a calm soul can truly perceive the essence of things. Just like a lake, only when the water is still can it reflect the clouds above. If our hearts are full of wind and waves, full of anger and anxiety, we will never find peace, even in the quietest place. But if our minds are calm, we can still smile even amid the noise of the world. A peaceful life does not mean the absence of storms. It means learning to stay still in the middle of them. It means breathing steadily when others shout and slowing down to admire a blooming flower while the world rushes by. That is the art of living for those who truly understand life. Confucius once said, "The noble person lives in harmony, not in conflict." Those who understand this do not need to fight for victory because they know that true triumph does not come from defeating others, but from being at peace with oneself. Lao Tzu said, "Those who know contentment are rich." A simple phrase, yet it holds the greatest secret to happiness in old age. As long as we still desire, compare, and fear loss, no amount will ever feel enough. But when we learn to appreciate what we already have, a warm meal, a familiar voice to call, a morning to wake up to, our hearts will naturally feel full. Peacefulness does not mean turning away from the world. It means learning how not to let the world take away our peace. We cannot control the wind, but we can learn how to adjust our sails. Lao Tzu once said, "Those who follow the way are like water flowing around stones, soft yet powerful. Those who live in harmony with nature, without forcing life to fit their will, are the ones who find true joy. A peaceful mind does not appear on its own. It grows from gratitude, from letting go, and from the habit of slowing down a little every day. A cup of hot tea, a good book, or a quiet evening watching the sunset. All can become medicine for the soul if we look at them with calm eyes. The second lesson of the East teaches us this. Happiness is not about having fewer worries, but about being at peace within them. When the heart is calm, everything falls into place. When we stop fearing, stop demanding, stop resisting, life naturally becomes lighter. Lao Tzu said, "The way is never far from humankind. Only humans choose to distance themselves from it." Perhaps the path back to peace is simply the path back to ourselves, to that part of the soul that still knows how to love, how to smile, even when the years are running short. Philosophy. 3. Simplicity is the peak of wisdom. Confucius once said, "The noble person lives simply but not harshly. The petty person lives extravagantly but never feels satisfied." Lao Tzu taught, "Simplicity is the foundation of purity. Those who live simply are close to the way." Two teachings, expressed differently yet pointing in the same direction. The wiser we become, the simpler we live. When we were young, we often believed happiness came from grand things. A larger house, a better car, a higher position in the eyes of others. We kept chasing the external, only to realize that the more we had, the emptier we felt. The things money can buy may bring joy for a moment, but they cannot bring peace for a lifetime. Simplicity does not mean lacking. It means feeling complete within. It is when we can enjoy a humble meal and still find it delicious, wear an old outfit and still feel confident, live in a small home and still feel at peace. Simplicity is when we stop comparing ourselves to others, stop competing with the world, and learn to smile at what we already have. That is the greatest wisdom, one that only those who have lived long enough truly understand. The ancients said, "Deep rivers make no noise, and wise people do not boast." The more we learn, the more we realize that complexity only tangles the heart. Simplicity is not just a lifestyle, but a state of being. It is knowing how to let go of what is unnecessary, both in the world and in our minds. Let go of excess possessions, of constant worries, of harsh judgments, so that peace has space to grow. Lao Tzu said, "Those who know much but live complicated lives carry heavy burdens. Those who understand the way and live simply walk freely." This is not only a philosophy, but also the most practical lesson of old age. When we learn to slow down and desire less, life suddenly feels lighter. An ordinary day can be a blessing if our hearts are simple enough to notice it. Confucius said, "The wise speak little, but their words warm the hearts of others." Likewise, those who live simply do not need to show off. Their presence alone brings peace to others. At this age, what we need is not more, but less. Less worry, less comparison, less struggle. Because only when we have less can we truly be full. Full of gratitude, serenity, and understanding. Simplicity is the highest form of wisdom, because only those who truly understand life dare to live simply. They know that all complexity begins with greed, and all peace begins with contentment. The older we grow, the clearer we see. Happiness does not come from what we add to life, but from what we are brave enough to let go of. When we live simply, we no longer need to prove anything. We simply live. For ourselves, for others, and for this very moment. Perhaps that is the ultimate wisdom of the East, where every answer lies in the quiet stillness of a peaceful soul. Philosophy 4. Never stop learning, for there is always more to understand. Confucius once said, "When 3 people walk together, one of them must be my teacher." This saying is not only for the young, it is a reminder to everyone, even those who have walked through most of life. That knowledge has no end, and learning is never too late. The deeper one understands, the more one realizes how little they truly know. The farther one travels, the more endless the road of wisdom appears. In youth, we learn to advance in life. In middle age, we learn to achieve. But in old age, we learn to understand life, to understand ourselves, and to rediscover peace within our hearts. Learning is not just in books. It is in every experience, every person we meet, every moment we observe. Sometimes, as we sit quietly in the morning sunlight, we learn how to be still. Sometimes, hearing the laughter of children, we learn how to live with innocence again. And sometimes, seeing someone older than us smiling with calm grace, we learn how to live more gently, more patiently, and more kindly. Confucius taught, "To know without learning is arrogance. To learn without reflection is a waste." True wisdom does not belong to those with many degrees, but to those who still see something new to understand each day. At this age, we no longer learn to outshine others. We learn to renew our spirits, to live each day more deeply and more peacefully. Lao Tzu said, "Those who speak do not know, and those who know do not speak." Those who truly understand do not need to boast. The wise do not prove themselves right. They quietly observe and quietly understand. Lifelong learning is not about collecting facts. It is about softening the heart, keeping it open and flexible, not hardened by old beliefs or worn-out judgments. Because when we stop learning, we start to grow old, not in body, but in spirit. Those who know how to learn also know how to listen, not just with their ears, but with their hearts. Listening to understand, not to reply. For sometimes, the greatest lessons in life do not come from books, but from the smallest moments around us. From the joy of an elderly friend who still lives happily, from the patience of a mother, or from the compassion in a stranger's eyes in the middle of a busy marketplace. Confucius once said, "He who studies without thinking is blind in the light. He who thinks without studying is lost in the dark." Learning brings us clarity. Reflection brings us depth. At this age, we do not need to understand everything. We only need to understand one thing. As long as we can still learn something each day, we are still living fully. The 4th lesson teaches us that true understanding does not lie in memory, but in an open heart. No matter how old we become, we can still be students of life. When we learn to smile at imperfection, to accept instead of resist, that is when we truly begin to understand life. And perhaps to understand life, that is the final and most beautiful lesson of being human. Philosophy 5. Letting go to lighten the heart. Lao Tzu once said, "To be full, you must first be empty. To gain, you must first let go." It may sound paradoxical, but it is the essence of Eastern wisdom. The longer we live, the more we realize. What makes us heavy is not age, but the burdens we refuse to release. When we are young, we want to hold on to everything. Our work, money, reputation, relationships, children, even things that were never meant to be ours. We cling tightly, believing that holding on is love, responsibility, and care. But the tighter we grip, the more tired we become. The harder we try to keep happiness, the faster it slips through our fingers like water. Old age is when we face the hardest lesson, the lesson of letting go. Letting go does not mean giving up. It means accepting what cannot be changed and being at peace with what has passed. To let go is to smile at imperfection, to stop trying to control others, and to stop forcing life to follow our plans. Life does not move according to our design. It flows according to the universe. Lao Tzu said, "When you stop striving, all things will flow naturally." That is the way, the path of nature, where everything finds its place. Confucius also taught, "Do not resent heaven, do not blame others, correct yourself instead." The wise do not seek fault outside themselves. They look within. When we let go of anger, peace enters the heart. When we release attachment, our spirit feels lighter. When we stop insisting on being right, winning, or better than others, only then are we truly free. For only when we are unbound can we live as lightly as the clouds, as freely as the wind. Many people carry resentment for a lifetime, angry at someone who left, bitter about something that did not work out. But resentment does not hurt the other person. It only burns ourselves. It is like holding a burning coal, hoping to throw it at someone. The first one to get burned is always us. Thus, letting go is not about forgiving others, it is about freeing ourselves. Lao Tzu said, "Those who hold too tightly will break what they are trying to keep." In life, the more we try to cling, the more we lose. Children will eventually have their own paths. Loved ones will have their own journeys. We can walk together for a while, but never forever. Accepting that truth brings peace. Letting go does not mean we stop loving. It means we love more gently, more freely. Like morning sunlight, warm but never harsh, touching but never grasping. Old age is not the end. It is the quiet moment when we learn the final lesson of life. To let go in order to receive, to step back in order to move forward, and to slow down in order to live more deeply. Those who know how to let go understand that nothing lasts forever. Yet everything is complete when we learn to cherish it. When we stop clinging to what is gone, we open our arms to the simple joys that are still here. And when we are no longer afraid of losing, we finally begin to live in true freedom. Confucius once said, "The noble person faces loss with calmness, knowing that gain and loss are only temporary." And Lao Tzu smiled, saying, "Those who know when to stop will live long." Both pointed to the same simple truth. To live lightly, to live with release. That is to truly live. Only when our hearts are no longer heavy can we walk the rest of our journey in peace, smiling with nothing left to regret. Philosophy. 6. Gentle words, peaceful soul. Confucius once said, "Words can destroy a nation, but they can also save a life." Lao Tzu taught, "True words are not beautiful, and beautiful words are not always true." Both reminded us that the power of speech does not come from sound, but from the heart behind it. At this age, we have spoken much, heard much, and witnessed enough misunderstandings caused by a single careless word. Sometimes, one simple sentence can warm someone's heart for an entire day. Yet another sentence can leave a wound that never heals. Words are the lightest things, yet also the hardest to take back. When a pebble is thrown into a lake, the ripples fade and the water becomes still again. But a harsh word may echo in someone's heart for a lifetime. Confucius said, "The noble person is cautious with words, not because they fear being wrong, but because they know that words reflect the soul. Those who speak kindly carry peace in their hearts. Those who often attack others are usually the ones battling storms within themselves. Lao Tzu looked even deeper. The more one speaks, the further one drifts from truth. Sometimes silence is the highest language of wisdom. Old age teaches us that some things do not need to be said. Sometimes a gentle smile is enough. When the heart is calm, our words naturally become kind. And when our words are kind, the world around us becomes easier to breathe in. Americans often say, words matter. But perhaps Eastern philosophy would add, the silence behind words matters even more. Because sometimes it is in that silence, in the quiet space between two souls, where true understanding happens. Gentle speech is not about being poetic or pleasing. It is about speaking with compassion. It means we speak not to win, not to prove, but to understand and to share. Confucius said, when you see others make a mistake, first ask yourself. That is how we keep our words pure. Before speaking, pause for just 1 second and think, is this worth saying? Will it hurt someone? Will it help anyone? That single second can sometimes save an entire relationship. Gentle words build bridges, harsh words build walls, and the wise choose to build bridges. Lao Tzu taught, water is soft, yet it is strong. Words are light, yet they can go deep. A gentle speaker is not weak. They are strong enough to control their anger. They choose compassion over cruelty, healing over harm. Such people may not have power, but they have influence. For others naturally feel peace in their presence. Old age is the perfect time to practice this art. To speak less, but mean more. To speak slower, but from the heart. A simple, how are you? A heartfelt, thank you. Or just, I understand you. Sometimes that is enough to warm a soul. Because in the end, all of us only wish to be heard, to be understood, and to be spoken to with kindness. The sixth philosophy teaches us that words are the mirror of the soul. If we wish for a peaceful life, we must begin by speaking gently. When we speak with love, we heal others and ourselves. And when our hearts are calm, the whole world around us becomes calm too. Philosophy 7. Treat others with kindness. Compassion is the most beautiful victory. Confucius once said, do not do to others what you would not want done to yourself. A simple rule. Yet if everyone truly lived by it, how peaceful the world would be. Lao Tzu taught, the kind person is like water, benefiting all things without competing with the world. Though separated by centuries, both sages pointed to the same path. The path of compassion. Many believe that to be strong means to win, to be above others. But Confucius said, the benevolent person seeks no victory over others. They only strive to conquer themselves. And Lao Tzu taught, the soft overcomes the hard, and the weak overcomes the strong. Because in this life, kindness is the most enduring strength. It can melt even the coldest hearts. At this age, we have seen enough conflicts, hurts, and needless quarrels caused by a lack of understanding. We have been angry, we have been wounded, we have felt treated unfairly. But the older we grow, the more we realize. Revenge does not bring peace. Forgiveness does. Forgiveness is not about setting others free. It is about setting ourselves free. Confucius said, the noble person repays resentment with virtue. The petty person repays resentment with resentment. Kind people are not weak. They are strong enough to choose what is right over what is easy. They choose forgiveness when they could retaliate, silence when they could argue, and a smile when they could be angry. At a certain age, we realize that the truest victory is not making someone else lose, but keeping our own hearts at peace. In Lao Tzu's philosophy, compassion is not pity. It is understanding the pain of others. When we understand, we stop judging. When we understand, we naturally act with gentleness, because everyone carries unseen wounds, silent struggles, and hidden fears. When we live with compassion, we not only warm others' hearts, but also free our own. Westerners often say, kindness is not weakness, and it is true. Kindness takes great courage. Only those who have known loss, pain, and defeat truly know how much strength it takes to be kind. The compassionate person does not seek to prove anything. They simply live so that when others think of them, their hearts feel lighter. Confucius taught, the benevolent person is never lonely. Indeed, kindness has a quiet magnetism. It draws good people near and makes our relationships purer and more genuine. Lao Tzu said, heaven protects the kind, just as the earth supports the flow of water. Kind-hearted people may not speak much, but wherever they go, they leave a warm light behind. The seventh philosophy teaches us that living kindly is not just a beautiful way to live, it is the wisest way. Because in the end, money fades, fame disappears, but kindness remains in people's hearts. Others may forget what we did, but they will never forget how our kindness made them feel. Living with compassion is the most beautiful kind of victory, one that needs no applause, no witnesses, only a peaceful heart. Philosophy 8. Health and balance. Living in harmony with nature for a peaceful body and mind. Confucius said, eat in moderation and move with measure. That is the root of peace. Lao Tzu taught, those who live according to the way live long, for they do not go against nature. These two simple teachings have remained true through the ages, because what human beings have always needed most is a healthy body and a peaceful mind. When we are young, we often trade health for success. When we grow old, we give up success in search of health again. But health is not a gift that can be bought. It is the result of moderation. In eating, in thinking, and in feeling. The ancients believed that the body and the mind are one. When the mind is restless, the body grows weary. When the mind is calm, the body finds ease. Therefore, if we wish to live long, we must begin by living in harmony with nature. To live in harmony with nature does not mean to give up, but to listen, to respect the rhythm of life and the wisdom of our own bodies. When tired, rest. When sad, allow yourself to feel it. When hungry, eat what nourishes you. When full, stop. Lao Tzu said, those who know when to stop will be safe from harm. In everything, from how we eat to how we speak to how we love, moderation is the key to peace. At this age, we have come to understand we do not need much to live well. A peaceful sleep, a simple meal, a fresh morning breath. These are true happiness. Confucius said, those who nurture their bodies are those who keep their hearts pure. When the mind is not dragged by ambition, the body becomes light. When the mind is burdened by worry, no amount of rest will ever be enough. Westerners often say, less is more. That very truth was written thousands of years ago in the Tao Te Ching. Lao Tzu said, those who know contentment are rich. Those who know when to stop endure. Those who are content enjoy a small meal as if it were a feast, a short nap as if it were a full night's sleep, and a slow walk as if it carried them far. Those who never feel content may have everything and still feel empty. Someone once asked, how can one stay healthy and happy in old age? The answer is surprisingly simple. Keep your heart light, your mind calm, and live in tune with life. Each morning, be grateful for another breath, for another sunrise. Eat what your body needs, not what your cravings demand. Speak gently so your heart stays peaceful, and smile often, for a smile is the cheapest and most precious medicine there is. Lao Tzu once wrote, "Heaven and earth endure because they live for others, not for themselves." When we live moderately, when we give and share, our energy becomes lighter and brighter. True health is not just the strength of the body, but the purity of the soul. The truly healthy person flows with life, without forcing themselves, without forcing others, and without forcing the world. The eighth philosophy teaches us that the secret to longevity is not found in supplements or medicine, but in the state of our hearts. When we live simply, moderately, and with contentment, we do not just stay healthy, we also find peace within. And perhaps that is the greatest gift nature gives to those who know how to live according to the way. Philosophy 9. Happiness is not outside, but within. To feel content is to feel at peace. Confucius once said, "Those who know contentment can be joyful even in poverty. Those who do not will suffer even in wealth." Lao Tzu taught, "Contentment brings happiness, chasing desire brings sorrow." Two great sages, through two different paths, pointed to the same destination, the human heart. In youth, we believe happiness lies outside. In work, in money, in the approval of others, we tell ourselves that if we just had a little more wealth, more love, more recognition, we would finally be happy. But as we grow older, we discover that true happiness is not about having more, but about knowing enough. Some people live in large houses, yet feel deeply empty inside. Others live in small homes with tiny gardens, but smile every morning out of gratitude. Happiness, in truth, has never come from what we have. It comes from how we see the same rainy day. One person complains about the wetness, another rejoices that the plants are nourished, the same quiet afternoon. One feels lonely, another feels grateful for peace. The scene is the same, only the heart is different. Confucius taught, "The noble person finds joy within themselves." Lao Tzu said, "Those who walk with the way do not search far for happiness, for the way is already within them." When our hearts are calm, the world becomes gentle. When our hearts are full, life feels complete. We do not need everything to be happy. We only need to appreciate what is already here. As Westerners often say, gratitude turns what we have into enough. That saying perfectly reflects the spirit of Eastern wisdom. Gratitude is the root of peace. When we are grateful, we stop comparing. When we are grateful, we stop complaining. And when we are grateful, even the smallest things, a good meal, a warm sunset, a familiar smile, become treasures. Those who do not know contentment always feel lacking. They chase what they do not have and forget what they already do. They tire themselves with worry, never live in the present. But those who know enough naturally feel at ease. They do not need to prove anything. They do not envy or resent. They simply live quietly, like a stream flowing through a meadow, calm, clear, and full of life. Lao Tzu taught, "The more one tries to hold, the more one loses. The more one lets go, the more one gains." Happiness is like breathing. The harder we try to hold it, the quicker it escapes. But when we relax and let it flow naturally, life becomes as light as the wind and our hearts as vast as the sky. The ninth philosophy teaches us that happiness is not a destination, but a way of traveling. Each day lived in contentment is a day of peace. Each morning we wake up with gratitude is a morning of joy. For in the end, happiness is not about finding something new. It is about realizing that we have already had enough all along. Philosophy 10. Living in harmony with the way, returning to the stillness. Within Lao Tzu once wrote, "Those who follow the way are like water flowing toward the sea. They do not fight, they do not force, yet they naturally reach the deepest place." Confucius taught, "The noble person stays calm amid chaos, while the petty person becomes restless even in peace." Both spoke of the same truth, that to live the rest of our lives fully, we must learn to flow with the way and to return to the stillness within ourselves. Throughout life, we have chased after so many things: fame, work, responsibilities, love, and even invisible fears. We have tried to do, to prove, to hold on. But perhaps at this stage of life, what we need to learn is not how to do more, but how to stop. Stop to breathe. Stop to listen to our own hearts. Stop to realize that life has never abandoned us. We were just moving too fast to notice it. Lao Tzu said, "The great way does not speak, yet all things are born." In the same way, many things in life do not need to be controlled. They only need to be trusted. The sun still rises, the flowers still bloom, the rivers still flow. And we too only need to live fully in each breath. When we stop forcing life, everything quietly returns to its natural place. The Western world has a saying, "Let go and let life flow." That is the very essence of the way. To live in harmony with the way does not mean to withdraw from the world, but to live in it without being carried away by it. When it rains, we understand that rain has its purpose. When the sun shines, we know it is also a gift. Everything that comes and goes moves to its own rhythm, and when we learn to accept that rhythm, we find true peace. Confucius said, "The noble person is humble, yet steadfast." That is the mark of one who understands the way. They do not try to shine, yet wherever they go, there is calm. They do not argue, they do not compete, they do not try to prove themselves, because they know that inner stillness is the greatest strength a person can have. The wiser one becomes, the less one needs to speak. The calmer the heart, the lighter the life. Stillness does not mean outer silence. It means inner peace, even when the world around is loud. When we learn to sit calmly in the heart of the storm, not out of fear but out of understanding, we see that nothing is truly frightening. Everything is just a wave on the surface of life. And life itself always knows how to balance. Old age is the perfect time to practice this, to slow down, to speak less, to observe more, and to cherish every moment. There is no need to prove anything, no need to hold on. Simply be present. To be fully here, in this moment, that is the way. Lao Tzu ended the Tao Te Ching with a beautiful line. Those who know they have enough live with joy. Those who know their smallness live in peace. That is what it means to live according to the way. To know enough, to know when to stop, and to know how to return home. Not chasing the past, not fearing the future, simply living deeply in the breath of the present. This final philosophy teaches us that happiness does not need to be found, and peace does not need to be awaited. Both have always been within us. We only need to be still long enough to hear them. And perhaps that is the greatest gift of growing old. Realizing that we no longer need to search anywhere, for at last we have found the way back to ourselves. As we walk through all 10 Eastern philosophies, from time, words, and opportunity to gratitude and stillness, we begin to see that life has never lacked beauty. Sometimes we only need to be still to see it clearly. And if today you can still breathe, still smile, still love, that alone is a miracle. For in the end, living in harmony with the way is not about living longer, but living deeper. Not about seeking happiness, but realizing you have been happy all along.